God be with you.
The herbalist Kunhuta sent me. I'm here because of the ghost.
You don't look like you know a thing about ghosts. Why didn't she come herself? Why did she send someone so young instead? Do you know anything at all about exorcisms?
Listen, you want to get rid of a ghost, don't you? If the answer is yes, then stop talking.
Fine, fine. I didn't think I was talking that much.
What exactly has been going on?
It happens at night. Every night now an apparition comes to me and I can't get a wink of sleep. I can't take it anymore.
Whose ghost is it?
His name was Alois and he had a farm not far from Ledechko. A few years ago, his farmhouse burned down with him in it.
I've heard that people who die such horrible deaths seldom rest in peace. Why do you think he chose you of all people?
How am I supposed to know? Maybe because we're neighbours. We grew up together as children.
I suppose that makes sense. Where is Alois buried? For the exorcism, I'll need flowers from his grave.
He's laid to rest in the Sasau cemetery by the wall. His grave is a bit overgrown with vines. I've been there a few times for a visit. The first day he appeared, I prayed at his grave, but he came again just the same.
I know everything I need to...
Then for God's sake, good luck then.
Our lard's tasty, good on bread and for frying. Come and get it, fine people, and pork crackling too, a joy to taste. Salami, sausages, meat of all shapes, sizes and flavours.
Huh. I know you. I know you from somewhere. Where do I know you from?
What?
From the yard or from the woods.
Of course,
Lean and
my
fatty
dream.
pork, chicken and beef.
You were in a
We had it all.
boat made of bone.
Come and see.
And I put a crown of thorns on your head.
Would you teach me more?
Certainly.
I'd like to.
First you have...
Lean, fatty, marbled,
Well.
bits of all kinds.
Will you teach me?
Certainly.
I want to.
You can't become a map.
Well. All right. Tell me about this dream of yours.
That dream. Yes, that dream has come true. I dreamt that a young man
Meat,
would become
cured and
my
fresh,
apprentice.
From the woods or from
My
the
own
pen.
pupil
It all
in the
tastes
trade of
delicious.
miracles.
Oh, then I'm in luck.
On the contrary, I'm the lucky one. What's your name, young man?
Henry.
Henry. A powerful name.
Good men, good
So,
wives,
Hen,
come have a look.
are you ready
Don't
to
be
become my
shy.
apprentice?
You'll never see such fine meat.
First, tell me, who are you, and what do you do?
Me? I am an unworthy, low, and miserable servant of Providence. Scholar or merchant? Believer or heathen?
Salami,
I wander the
sausages,
world without
lard of all
home or
kinds and
family,
scratchings that make
with
your
only
mouth
my
water
wagon,
more than the
offering
finest cake.
miracles to those that need them. That's who I am. Without home or kin, I wander this world with my wagon, providing the miracles that people need. Ointments,
If your cottage
relics,
burns down, our sausages will
aromatic
still taste
herbs,
good. If
rare
your husband is
spices,
murdered, our sausages will be
talismans,
here.
amulets
Come and
for
get
luck.
them.
All these things I have.
What exactly does it entail, becoming your apprentice?
A lot of work and strenuous labor. Knowledge of medicine, theology, and white magic. You have to study the
Meat,
great
mutton,
works of
veal,
the
beef,
ancients
and
devote your
chicken.
time to understanding your fellow men, listening to them, and learn to read their souls.
Nothing to it.
That's why God has sent you. So what do you say?
From the yard or from the woods.
All right, I'll
lean
be your
and
apprentice.
fatty pork, chicken
Wonderful!
And beef.
Oh,
We had it all.
glorious day!
Come
I
and
have a
see.
successor in my work.
So, how do you plan to start training me?
With a test of your practical skills.
Oh,
I have my eye on 3 rare objects of great value, but sadly they're a little difficult to obtain.
go on.
First, I need a tooth of Saint Procopius. Then I'll need a branch from a topping out hung on a church. And finally, a talisman for luck from a passionate player.
Bloody hell, that's a lot. All right, one thing at a time.
Good men, good wives, come have a look. Don't
About
be
that
shy.
tooth.
You'll never
It's going to
see
be
such
slightly
fine
more
meat.
complicated, isn't it?
I know. Yes, it would be very difficult to gain such a rare relic, of course. That's why I have an alternative solution.
I'm listening.
A layman named Procopius lives by the monastery, and it just so happens, thanks to my
Salami,
intricate
sausages,
medical
lard
knowledge,
of all
that I
kinds
found
and
out he has a
scratchings that
sick
make your
tooth.
mouth water more than the finest cake.
How did you find out he has a sore tooth?
As it happens, he told me at the tavern. But that's not important.
And how am I supposed to get the tooth?
I haven't the faintest idea.
Meat,
You have to
mutton,
think of
veal,
something.
beef, and chicken.
But maybe you'll be able to persuade him to let the blacksmith pull it.
Wouldn't that be swindling people?
It is, and it isn't. If I sell that tooth as the tooth of Saint Procopius, then it certainly is deceitful.
Salami,
But if I sell it
sausages,
as a
meat of all
tooth from
shapes,
Procopius of
sizes, and
Sasau,
flavours.
then I'm cheating nobody.
Does it really matter whose tooth I bring then?
Of course it does. The name Procopius in this holy land is shrouded with mystical power. Sometimes I might play a trivial trick on
Meat,
someone,
mutton,
but
veal,
I assure
beef,
you,
and
I'm no
chicken.
swindler.
Fine. I'll get it from him.
Wonderful.
This topping out? What's that?
You're not a carpenter, it seems.
No, I'm a blacksmith.
I see. Well, a topping out is a decorated spruce or a conifer tree hung on top of the roof of a new house to bring good fortune and God's blessing.
From the
That
yard
topping
or
off is
from
hung
the
pretty
wood,
high, isn't
lean
it?
and fatty pork,
Naturally.
chicken and beef.
It hangs on the
We have it
rooftop
all.
according to
Come and
tradition,
see.
and the church is tall.
And how am I supposed to get it down?
Damned if I know. But they had to get it up there somehow, didn't they?
Well, then all we need to do is break off a branch somewhere, buy a few
Lean,
ribbons, and we've
fatty
got our own
marbles,
homemade
mixable
topping out
pies.
right there.
You don't understand, young man. The topping out was sanctified by a priest, and it hangs on the highest church far and wide. You can't just replace it with a decorated branch.
Fair enough. Very well.
Good men,
I'll get it.
good wives, come have a look. Don't be shy.
This
You'll
player's
never see
talisman.
such fine
Where am I
meat.
supposed to find it?
I actually have a specific one in mind. Here at the inn, there's a dice player who always has a cat's paw with him. That's supposed to bring him luck.
A cat's paw? I thought players bring along a rabbit's paw for luck.
I thought so too. But
Salami,
this man is winning
sausages,
one game
lard
after
of all
another.
kinds and
so
scratchings that make
cats
your
are
mouth
clearly
water
even
more
more
than the
powerful than
finest
rabbits.
cake.
Oh. How am I supposed to get the talisman from him?
I haven't a clue. It won't be easy, but I'm sure you'll find a way.
We'll see. Very well. I'll get you the paw.
If your cottage burnt down, our sausages
I'll get
will
looking for
still
those
taste
things then.
good. If your
Excellent.
husband is murdered,
You do that,
our
my
sausages
journeyman.
will be
Good
here.
luck.
Come and get them.
About those other things you wanted from me. I'll get looking for those things then.
Excellent. You do that.
Let's talk about...
Well, it'll...
Where...
Look out.
What's that?
A found it. Now to pick the flowers. Right, now back to Drahamira so I can get this thing over with.
God be with you.
Are there any problems around here I might be able to help with?
Nothing I've heard about.
Where do I go?
On the upper floor of the inn. Your chamber is the one. Good luck to you.
Jesus Christ be praised.
Doesn't look good.
What? What are you talking about?
Your tooth. I bet it hurts a lot, doesn't it?
How do you know about that?
I overheard you in the tavern yesterday. If I were you, I'd let the blacksmith pull it.
Why?
I knew a man once who was in the same situation as you. His tooth was sore, and he was frightened to have it pulled.
And what happened to him?
In the end, half his jaw almost fell out. So I wouldn't underestimate it.
But I can't go to the blacksmith.
Don't tell me you're afraid.
I am afraid. I don't mind admitting it.
You know what? I'll go with you and make sure you get out of there alive. You don't have to be embarrassed. Every man in the world's afraid of having his teeth pulled.
I know, but even so...
Let's go then, and get this over with.
Jesus, it's going to be really painful, isn't it? Huh?
Don't worry. It will hurt a little, but then you'll feel relieved. You'll see.
If you say so. I don't know. Isn't it a waste of time? Maybe it'll go away on its own.
Are you mad? It won't go away, it'll just get worse. The sooner we get it out, the better.
Yes, you're right. Look, I can't. It's embarrassing. I'm a coward and I won't be able to handle it.
We're almost there. Just be a man about it.
You're right. Let's go.
All right, let's do it. Hold him tight.
Let's do it.
Ah, look.
Jesus
It's
Christ,
out.
The agony.
Hey, want to keep it as a
What
memento?
can I do to
I'll have it.
this?
Oh, all right.
Let's go to the blacksmith. Maybe we'll make it there this time.
Fine, let's go. Is someone there?
Can I take a look inside the monastery?
What's got into you, boy? The grounds inside the monastery belong to the monks of the Order of Saint Benedict. No others shall pass. God be with you.
What the?
Hey! What do you want here? Hop it or I'll call a guard. Hey! Hey! Is someone there? What was that? No sign of anyone. God knows what it was. What are you up to here? What was that noise? Come on. For God's sake. There.
Good day to you. What?
I-
What? But
You-
I.
le-
Jesus, it's going to be really painful, isn't it?
Don't worry. It will hurt a little, but then you'll feel relieved. You'll see.
If you say so. Hey. What the? Look out. Huh? I don't know. Isn't it a waste of time? Maybe it'll go away on its own.
Are you mad? It won't go away, it'll just get worse. The sooner we get it out, the better.
Yes, you're right. I can't. It's embarrassing. I'm a coward and I won't be able to handle it.
We're almost there. Just be a man about it.
You're right. Let's go.
All right, let's do it. Hold him tight.
I feel better now. Wouldn't want to go through it again, though.
Let's.
What was that? Damn, a thief! He's stealing here! God! Help! Arrest that thief!
What the hell was that? What are you looking for?
What do I have to.
You have to know how to read and write, speak Latin, and have a letter of admission from the abbot. But most importantly, your soul must be filled with Christian fervour.
Letter of admission? Great.
That's the least of your worries. By the look of you, I'd say, tell me, are you capable of spending your days in quiet meditation?
What do I have?
You have to know how.
Let.
That's the. Tell me. Good heavens, what do you want here? Go now. Be quick about it.
Leave now, or I'll have someone take you away. This is a monastery.
What was that noise? You are in a place intended only for monks. Leave immediately.
Look at.
Can I take a...
What's got in? Farewell.
Jesus, another one.
Johanka?
Henry?
I'm glad to see you.
Me too. I heard that you're doing well.
Well, that depends.
You're alive. So you're doing well.
Did you see Vashek at the market the other day? Oh, aye, he was looking mighty smart.
What's happening here?
Not his usual grouchy
Oh my
self.
God. Philip and... They're all...
Haven't you heard?
Yes.
He's courting some
Where do you
wench on
think
the
the
side.
wounded ended up?
Actually,
You must be pulling
I had no idea.
Well, now you know. Me and Nicodemus have been trying to keep things under control since Skalitz was raised. Just the two of us.
She doesn't live in the village. Maybe up at the mill or with the charcoal burners.
Can I help at all?
Certainly. We can always use an extra pair of hands here. And it's been like that since the beginning.
I was in a bad way myself back then. They took me to Ratai unconscious and I needed a healer.
Who knows what she's like? For all
How's everyone holding up? What can I do?
Holding up. People here are dying, usually needlessly, and I can't do anything about it. We don't have enough food or space or anyone who's willing to help us.
Doesn't anyone help you with nursing these people? You've got scholars all around you.
Scholars, maybe, but they leave the healing up to God. Nicodemus is trying, but everything he knows is from his books.
Can I have a look at them myself? I know a little about healing.
Do you now? And what would you do if you burnt yourself at the forge?
That actually happened to me once. Fritz pissed on the burn and it was right as rain the next day.
Mm-hmm. I see. Well, better talk to Brother Nicodemus before trying that treatment here.
Doesn't the monastery care for them?
They give us some food for them and a place to sleep, but I wouldn't say they help exactly. More like they just tolerate us.
Do you have enough food?
Enough to survive, maybe, but convalescents need feeding up.
Maybe if I brought some meat, some game, that would strengthen them up.
That would be a great help.
Anything else you need?
Look around.
Well, it is a little crowded.
Crowded? I've had to leave some of the sick lying in the open air, even at night. And have you seen what they're lying on?
I'll try to negotiate better conditions with the monastery.
I tried that, out loud. They just nod their heads, but don't move a muscle.
Very well. And how are you doing? You're the only woman here, alone in the monastery.
Some of the monks speak to me, but other people act like I don't exist. Too bad the custodian isn't one of those.
Is the custodian causing you problems?
All the time. Apparently he has a wife somewhere, but that doesn't stop him. He's constantly strutting around in front of me.
And, what else?
What do you mean, what else? He's invited me to his home.
I could do something about it, if you liked.
No, I can deal with him. The last thing I need is you going around threatening people. It won't help me, and it definitely won't help the refugees.
Why is there a guard outside?
He's here because of me.
Because of you?
Yes. There was one time I just had enough of it all, of the way they treat us, and I almost slapped one of... But that doesn't matter.
What can you tell me about the custodian?
He's supposed to be in charge of all the guards and the security of the monastery. But really, he has a say in pretty much everything, including supplies. And that's why he probably thinks he can do whatever he wants.
All right, that's all I need to know.
Look, Henry, I know I can speak harshly, but I'm at the end of my tether. Last week Bohuslav died. Maybe you knew him. And nobody even blinked an eye. We desperately need help.
I'll do whatever's in my power. You wouldn't happen to know what Fritz and Matthew did here, would you?
Don't even talk to me about that. They weren't badly injured compared to most of the others here, and after lying in bed for a while, they got bored. So they started drinking. I'm trying to help people in dire need, and the two of them are drinking! With that cretin Elias.
They always have been thoughtless, but at least they were punished for it. Who is this Elias, anyway?
One of the ordinal monks who helps out here. He was the one who brought the booze. All three of them got friendly pretty fast. You know what they say about birds of a feather.
And do you know what got between them?
I don't have a clue. One minute they're the best friends in the world, and then a lot of yelling and furniture flying around. They threw Fritz and Matthew out straight afterwards.
What kind of person is this Elias?
A timid kind of fellow.
And why is he being so hard on Fritz and Matthew? They're drowning in debt because of him, and it seems all they had was a small fight.
I don't know. He was the one who wanted to befriend them in the first place. I don't believe it's because of any property damage they did. It's got more to do with wounded pride.
Thank you. That's all I need. These wounds have been well taken care of.
Christ above! I can't get a wink of sleep.
What are you making such a fuss about?
A fuss? Because of my leg, I have to stay here for at least another week. Hurts like fuck. And with everyone else moaning and groaning all night, I can't get any sleep.
Help me. Maybe I can make you something to help you sleep.
Oh, then for God's sake, do it quickly.
Good luck to you.
He'll be able to get out of this on his own. He just needs to sleep.
Yeah? Damn, why are you waking me?
You're not from Skalitz?
No, but please help me. I can't stay here.
What happened to you?
I was working on the building when the scaffolding up by the roof collapsed underneath me.
Well, and you're very lucky you survived at all.
Yes, that's what everyone tells me. But it's no use being alive if all I can do is lie here like a wet sack of barley.
Well, you're pretty battered, but I don't see anything that a few weeks' rest can't fix.
Weeks? My God, I have to get back to work sooner than that.
What's the problem? Why can't you stay until you heal?
I have a family. I'm poor. It's only thanks to the building work that we can survive. And the master told me if I don't come back in a few days, then I shouldn't come back at all. And where can me and my wife go then? Who'll take us in? We'll end up living in the woods, where any bandit or ruffian could set on us.
Is there anything I can do to help? It looks like they took care of your wounds.
When I was little, my father got trampled on by a horse, and an old hag from the village gave him some kind of purple herbs for it. And he got better very quickly.
And do you remember what the herbs were?
I don't. But there's supposed to be the whole cursed knowledge of the world in this place. Something has to be written about it. A herbarium, anything.
I'll try to find something.
Thank you. Thank you.
May the Lord watch over you.
Yeah.
Hopefully I have what you...
I won't get any sleep. I just won't get any sleep.
Farewell.
Huh? What do you want?
You look all right?
Mostly, but my leg still hurts.
Did the Cumans wound you?
That's what I tell the ladies. Truth is, I did myself a mischief while I was running away.
And do they rebandage it for you?
Occasionally. They told me they don't have enough bandages.
Well, that's no use. Those bandages need changing. I've got bandages, so I can take care of it.
Wonderful. Could you tell Brother Nicodemus?
I can do it myself.
I thought you were a blacksmith.
Do you have something against blacksmiths?
Nothing at all. Just maybe it would be better if you went for Nicodemus.
All right then.
Farewell.
I'm not needed here. And who are you?
Brother Elias.
I won't get any sleep.
What do you do
I just
here?
won't get any sleep.
What I can. I'm just trying to help the Skalitz locals as much as I can.
How long have you been helping here?
Since before the refugees arrived. It was much less crowded back then.
And what do you do here exactly?
Mainly, I help Brother Nicodemus. Occasionally, I keep watch at night in case someone takes a turn for the worse. Sometimes I have to hold a patient down or fetch and carry things.
Do you know anything about healing?
A little. I can manage the basics, but without Brother Nicodemus, I'd never be able to deal with the more difficult cases.
Thank you. I heard you had a fight with Fritz and Matthew.
Heathens.
So it was you they fought with?
Yes, it was me. And I hope I'll never have to see those wastrels again.
They deserve to be ousted, but the debt? How are they ever going to pay it?
I really don't care. Let them live in penury. Brutes.
Isn't that a little unchristian? You wouldn't want personal spite to ruin their lives, would you?
Well, those were just idle threats, really. If they come and apologize, there's always a possibility of forgiveness.
Farewell.
You're the one who's in charge of the wounded.
Yes, I'm the infirmarius here. Time was I only had a few elderly monks who couldn't walk to take care of. Now I have this mess to deal with.
Monks so old they can't hold themselves up with their own legs.
Oh, if that were the only bodily function they could control. But I shouldn't talk like that. It's a blessing to live to such an age.
How are the wounded from Skalitz?
Some of them are well taken care of. But others are dying here needlessly. It's a good thing we have Johanka here. I'd never be able to manage on my own.
So you don't normally treat the wounded then?
Well, there were accidents, of course. A broken leg, someone who'd been kicked by a cow or bitten by a goat. But this, I've never dealt with the carnage of battle before.
If only it had been a battle. This was cold-blooded slaughter.
You were there? God be merciful to you and the dead and the wounded.
How can I help you?
Have you talked to Johanka?
I did.
Well, if you know something about it, then go and take a look. However, you don't look like you've studied the Hippocratic arts.
That's true. I'm the son of a blacksmith, but I have been around the wounded before. What do I do if I'm not sure of the treatment?
Come and speak to me. We'll see what we can do.
I just won't get any sleep.
What do you think about the custodian?
Baron von Berg? Well, he does his job well. He keeps us safe here. And the last time I saw him was when I was rubbing ointment on his rash.
I heard he's been here a lot lately.
Well, that's true. He comes to visit Johanka. But he's never here long, and he always leaves unsatisfied.
Thank you. Why are they so badly provided for? People are crammed in next to each other, and some have to sleep outside. That can't be good for them. It gets freezing here at night.
I can't afford anything more for them.
How is that possible? You're the infirmarius. You decide how all the money gets spent.
But I have no say in how much money I'm given. And because the abbot's away, it's still the same amount I had when I was taking care of a few old men.
Can't you do anything? Won't the others help?
Unfortunately not. The brothers in the cloister aren't much interested in the external world, and the custodian has enough on his plate with the chaos in the region. Besides, his main concern is the smooth running of the monastery.
And the local custodian? His crew has enough provisions?
I tried him, but it seems he had some disagreement with Johanka, and now he won't give us anything.
I'll try to talk to him. I can't believe your conscience lets you leave the Skalitz locals in such a state.
I know. I'm ashamed. But my brothers believe it's all in God's hands now.
Even so, conditions here seem to me quite unchristian.
You're not the only one.
I'd like to learn something from you.
And what can you do?
A bit of everything.
Can you now? But to be more precise, do you understand herbs and medicinal plants?
I do.
In that case, you've come to the right place. Someone who knows what they're doing will have it done in a jiffy. Go to the herb garden, take a good look at what's growing there, and then pull up the weeds in the herbaceous beds. Is that clear?
Clear. I can get cracking.
Not so fast. Have I even told you what I consider a weed? It's dandelions, stinging nettles, and thistles. Those plants have their use, but they've no business growing among the euphrasia and the mentha, or anywhere else in that garden for that matter.
Where is it they're not supposed to grow?
Between the mint and the eyebrights. Once you've cleared the garden of weeds, come back. And woe betide you if you pull up anything but weeds.
Don't worry, you've never had as good a gardener. How do I know which are the weeds?
You see, this is the part where you learn something. Look in the herbarium to find out what a dandelion, stinging nettle, and thistle look like.
I see. Would you teach me more?
Certainly.
Well. How about some potion to induce heavy sleep?
Certainly. The old reliable.
Reliable?
Some of the brothers like a good sleep, and sometimes that's the only way to get one. I'll show you how.
Thanks.
Quiet!
I need help with rebandaging.
Hands? I know, but there aren't any bandages.
I have bandages, but I don't know how to put them on.
Then I'll be happy to help. Take care now. Farewell. There. It's better already. Huh?
How you feel?
Good. It feels...
It will. Tell them to rebandage.
Thank you very much.
Don't mention it.
Farewell.
Take care now.
Let's talk about the...
Aye?
What?
I just won't get any sleep. Let's have a word about... can't. I just can't. Quiet!
I've got something for you.
Really?
Drink this, and you'll fall straight to sleep.
Oh, thank you.
Farewell.
Do you know anything about...
I'm not an expert.
Well, one of the workers who was injured during construction would like to get back to work. He mentioned some...
Herbs.
Oh, purple herbs that should help.
I couldn't tell you off the top of my head, but you can have a look in the herbarium here. There won't be too many purple herbs for bruises and sprains. Farewell.
done.
Did you weed the beds and leave what should be growing there?
Not.
I'm glad. I'm going to check with my own eye.
Good luck to you. Farewell.
Huh?
Were you satisfied?
You said it was finished, but I took a... Try again and do better.
Take care now.
It's done.
Did you weed the beds and...
Not a leaf.
I'm glad to hear. I'm going to check.
Take care now.
Were you satisfied?
You said it was... Try again.
Take care now.
It's done.
Did you weed the...
Not a leaf.
I'm glad to hear. I'm going to check.
May the Lord watch over you.
Were you satisfied?
It wasn't the best work I've ever seen, but you pulled up more weeds than herbs.
Good luck to you.
Do you need any more help?
Knowledge of herbal remedies always comes in handy. Listen up. We have some new brothers who are meant to help me with the wounded, but not all of them know their medicinal herbs as well as I'd hope. They'll have to be taught.
I'm not much of a teacher.
I should imagine not. But you won't be doing any teaching, just helping me put together our new herbarium. I shall need all of the herbs mentioned in the old one.
That sounds easy.
Don't be so sure. Some of the herbs are shy little things, prone to hiding from some... One more thing. Bring me some old book or other.
or an old book.
May the Lord watch over you.
Yeah. 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 I've got those herbs you wanted.
Let me see if you have everything. Excellent, you have all the plants. I'll take those from you. And what of the book? Did you remember to bring it?
I certainly did. Here it is. I've had second thoughts.
May the Lord watch over you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Carrots and apples picked today.
Veal, beef, and chicken.
God be with you.
got those herbs.
Let me see. Excellent.
I certainly did.
Thank you for everything. I'll set someone the task of scraping away the old ink and making the herbarium.
It was my pleasure.
Take care. Take care.
Yeah? Hopefully I have...
Good luck to you.
Yeah? Hopefully I...
Take care now.
Yeah? Hopefully I...
Thank you. With any luck, I'll soon be feeling better. If you find the time, stop by to see me in a few days.
God be with you.
Dear Mistress Johanka, I come again in admiration of your selfless dedication. I would like to invite you to a fine banquet at my palace. You certainly have earned... What business have you here, fellow? Who let you in?
I'm taking care of the wounded, as I'm sure you're aware.
Ah. Well then, run along and take care of them, and let me talk to Johanka. You're not needed here.
I won't.
That's what I like to... My respect. Good luck to you.
Yeah?
Hope.
Thank you. If you may the Lord.
Dear Mistress Johanka, I come.
I'm taking care of the wounded. Wouldn't it be better to have the banquet here, custodian?
What?
If you won't give the sick anything else, can you at least hold the banquet?
Nobody's going to talk to me that way. Lock him up for the night.
Thank your guardian angel.
Hopefully I have.
Thank you. If you God be with you.
Dear Mistress Johanka.
I'm taking care of the wound, as I'm sure.
Ah.
Johanka doesn't need anything from you. Good man.
You will talk to me and...
Yes. I won't.
That's what I like to hear. My respects to you.
I'm helping at the infirmary now, and I came to...
Ah, and how is Johanka? Do you know her well?
Yes, I do.
Good, good. Does she ever talk about me?
Sometimes. A little.
That's good. Excellent. Johanka means a lot to me.
I'm mainly here for supplies and to talk about the state of the wounded from Skalitz. They need blankets, food...
Well, that's not my problem. Let the infirmarius take care of it.
His hands are tied. Until the abbot comes back, he can't get anything.
And why should that interest me?
Oh, you're unbelievable.
I don't know what you mean, but you should go now. Good luck to you.
We were talking...
Why? I don't know.
Hopefully...
Farewell.
Dear Mistress Johanka,
I'm taking care of, as I'm sure you're aware.
Ah,
I won't intrude.
that's what I like. Good day to you. Take care now.
I'm helping it.
Ah,
Yeah.
good.
Sometime.
That's good.
I mainly.
Well, that's not.
His hands are tied.
And why?
Maybe because of Johanka.
What precisely are you getting at?
She has a kind heart. Everyone can see how deeply she cares about the wounded. If you help her selflessly, it'll win her over. She's bound to be impressed.
Maybe you're right. It will cost me something, but I'll discuss it with Nicodemus. I should be able to help in some way.
For the love of God! What have you been doing?
Tell me more about the situation. All right. That custodian, Sebastian.
He can be unpleasant, but in his own way. I don't know.
You can't be serious.
What's that supposed to mean? At least he was here, unlike you, the whole time. And anyway, mind your own business. Good luck then.
Thank you.
Goodbye.
He'll be able to get out of this on his own. I'm not needed here. Everything here is fine? He's not reacting. But all I can see that's wrong with him is his leg. I have to ask Johanka.
For the love of God!
What's wrong with that man by the altar? He doesn't look wounded, but he's really pale and doesn't react at all.
He had a broken leg. A bad one. The bone had come right through the skin. We tried to straighten it, but I don't know if we did it right. I'm not holding out much hope for him. I've seen folk in that state before, and it didn't end well.
My God, there has to be something we can do.
And what do you suggest? The monks won't help, and I don't know anyone else who can.
What about the executioner from Rattay? He usually breaks bones, but he might know something about mending them too.
The executioner? Even if you could persuade him to come, they'll never let him in here.
Well, maybe it would be enough if he advised me and then I tried.
Look, do whatever you want. Goodbye.
Take care now.
Philip, from Skalitz. I don't see any wounds, but he's shaking terribly.
Henry.
What happened to Philip?
Poor man. There was nothing wrong with him, and now he's getting worse every day.
But do you know why?
Maybe. He didn't run away from Skalitz, you see. He hid for days, among the corpses. If he got poisoned.
But what can we do?
Us? Nothing. Only Father Simon might have been able to save him. He knew a lot about poisons.
And where is he?
You know he left Skalitz years ago.
And does anyone know where he ended up?
If you believe the stories about a wild man in the woods, then Rovnar is the place to go. God be with you.
Take care.
God be with you.
I found you a priest.
Really? That's wonderful news. Who is it?
I tracked down the Skalitz priest. At the time of the attack, he was taking confession in Sasau, so there he stayed.
Ah, well, the main thing is he's been found. You'll see. Once there's a priest, people will soon be back.
I hope so.
I've put together a small sum for a new piece, so I thought a portion should definitely go to you, as a reward.
I couldn't possibly take it. You'll need the money to rebuild the village.
As you wish, then. I shan't weigh you down with it.
So, farewell to you.
I'll keep an eye on him myself. God, see you later.
He's not reacting. But all I can see... Philip, from Skalitz. I don't see any wounds, but he's shaking terribly.
Greetings.
What?
The
Oh.
you. God be with you.
I'm not needed here.
God be with you.
I see there's not much going on around here.
Quite so. All by myself.
Do you think folk will ever go back?
Well, I don't know about Skalitz, but the folk here are sure to want to come back.
Do you mean the priest?
Indeed. When the land's at war?
Of course.
He did.
That's true enough.
But if you're interested, young fella, maybe you could
I can always... But I've heard where the Skalitz priest went.
Huh?
You might as well tell me who he is. What I heard about the Skalitz priest might just be rumours.
True. Well then, a few years ago there used to be another priest in...
Simon. Father Simon.
Aye. I don't want to spread rumours, but they say he was in love...
That's not a story I've come across.
It only reaches folk who... Well, to finish the story, Simon left the parish and ran away. There was neither sight nor sound of him for a long time.
And what's he doing here?
That's just it.
All right.
I couldn't tell you exactly, but you could start. Well, they live on a farm nearby, and it's likely they know more. They may...
I'll go and see what they have to say.
God go with you, lad, and I pray you...
Don't worry.
Good luck to you.
I found you a priest.
Really?
I tracked down the Skalitz priest at the time of the attack.
Ah, well, you'll see. Once...
I hope so.
I've put together a small...
Thanks.
You're welcome.
So, farewell to you.
I'll keep an eye... See you later.
must be somewhere. You call that combat?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Good day to you.
I'm looking for the priest, Father Simon, and I heard you might know of him.
Simon? What do you want him for?
I'm looking for the priest who used to take care of St. James, and the locals tell me they saw him around here.
I don't know if I can help you there. He'll never go back to his parish, if you ask me. Very well. What is it you want to know?
What went on between Simon and your daughter?
Nothing that hasn't happened before. Our Mary was his housemaid in Skalitz. She was pretty, very pretty. And he was young, and so things went the way they do between comely young folk. She came back home one day, heavy with child.
Yes, these things happen. What can you do?
I said as much. I was just glad our girl was provided for. Only she never had the chance to hold that babe in her arms. She didn't live through the birth.
I'm very sorry.
Such is a woman's lot in life. Men die in battle, and women in the arms of the midwife.
And what happened to Simon?
The poor man. He took it the worst. He was sure God's wrath smote Mary for her fornication.
That's rubbish. People lie together out of wedlock all the time, and God never smites them down.
That's just what I told him. But it's hardly my place to lecture a priest. And who knows? Maybe he was right. The Lord moves in mysterious ways. He was overflowing with grief. He barely spoke, didn't eat, refused to take a new housemaid. And then, one fine day, the presbytery was deserted. It took a good season before another priest came along.
Where can I find him? He's said to be wandering around here somewhere.
I heard that too. and I'm inclined to believe it, even though I haven't seen him myself.
How come?
After our poor Mary went to her rest, we used some of the money he'd paid us to put a cross up by the roadside. And lately, there's been wreaths of comfrey turning up next to it. I don't take them there, nor my husband neither.
You think Simon does?
Who knows? Maybe it's a miracle. I could believe anything. But there's not been fresh ones for a while, so perhaps he's moved on elsewhere again.
I see. Can you tell me where that cross is?
Certainly. There are settling tanks for the mines to the west of Skalitz. On the hill above them in the woods, there are several paths. Mary's cross is by one of them, close to the brook.
All right, thanks. I'll be going.
Very good, then. And if you do find him, let him know that we have no hard feelings.
I'll tell him.
God be with you.
God.
Yeah. 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 This must be that cross. Mary's mother was right. Someone did lay flowers here recently. I should have a look around and see if there's comfrey growing anywhere nearby.
away. Hey, you! What are you doing here?
I've come for the priest. Simon.
There's no one here called that.
There is. Do you take me for a fool?
All right. Maybe there is someone here. What of it? We're not going anywhere.
I think you should talk less and move your legs more.
And why is that? You think you've got what it takes to beat us?
I might. But it doesn't matter, because I saw you yesterday, and then stopped by Talmberg to report. So, unless you'd rather wait for Sir Divish's Captain Robard, you should go now.
Shit. All right, we'll go.
Far enough, still. If you run, I'm sure you'll get away.
Right. Thanks for the warning.
Are you all right?
Yes, I think so. Oh, what happened to those wretches?
They're skulking around here somewhere.
Good God! Couldn't you scare them off somehow? I'm afraid they'll be back.
I'll see what I can do.
Just don't hurt it. Oh, thank you.
They didn't look dangerous. The only thing at risk was your possessions.
I know, poor fools. But I was afraid they'd leave me here. What would I have done then? And to whom do I owe my salvation?
My name's Henry. You may remember me. I'm the son of the Skalitz blacksmith.
Your face does seem familiar. But listen, Henry, I can't help feeling you didn't stumble across me by accident.
It's true. I've come to ask a favor of you.
Me? What on earth could I do for you?
I need you to go back to St. James. The folk there need spiritual guidance. Skalitz has a burned-out shell, and many have died in St. James. They need a priest.
I understand, but I have to disappoint you. I gave up my calling. Instead, I've given myself over to repentance.
I know your story, Father.
Then you know what I'm guilty of.
Yes, and I don't want to try to make light of it. Your conscience is your own affair, but I know that deep down you're a good man.
You don't know what you're saying. You don't know me.
But I know what you did. Many priests break God's commandments willy-nilly and aren't the least ashamed.
That doesn't absolve me of my sins. God's law is set, no matter how often it's violated.
You're certainly right, but the people need you. And forgive me for being blunt, but while you can leave the presbytery if you choose, it doesn't absolve you of your duty to Christian folk.
But I'm a sinner. I'm not fit to guide anyone. I'm unworthy to do so.
Priests, bishops, monks, abbots, they're all sinners. Even the Holy Father himself is a sinner. You've done your penance, and now your people need you.
You're probably right. It is my duty.
I don't think they'll find anyone better enough.
All right. I'll take what I can carry and...
Thank you. I need help with treatment.
And what's wrong with you?
Oh, nothing. But Philip from Skalitz is dying. He's lying in Sasau and won't last long.
Slowly now. What happened to him?
Nobody knows much. He's not wounded, but I heard he was hiding from the Cumans for days in a pile of carcasses.
The Lord have mercy. The living should never lie with the dead. His intestines must be purged, but even then he's in God's hands.
How do I clean his intestines?
It might surprise you, but you'll have to give him alcoholic spirits. The purest you can get your hands on. The best is distilled from Artemisia. It'll make him a bit delirious, but it'll help. I'll show you how to prepare it.
God be with you.
I found you a priest.
Really?
The former parish priest of St. James. I persuaded him to return to...
So you've...
Yes.
Thank God. You'll see.
I hope so.
I've...
Thanks. So,
I'll see you later.
Hey, how'd you get so fucked up?
About your brawl with the liars. Your best friend settled the matter.
You're serious?
Absolutely. All you have to do is go to him and promise you'll pay the debt somehow.
We won't forget this. On my honor. And I'm really sorry about that fight. I was just going out of my mind.
How do you like it at the mill, Fritz? It's got to be better than the mines.
It's worse here than at Skalitz. There you could disappear without anyone noticing. But here...
But why would you want to disappear? Nimoy isn't here.
No, he's not. But the local foreman is an even bigger ass.
I'm not sure that's possible.
You better believe it. I'd like to pay him back for everything and drown him in the river.
Drown him? What's he done to you?
It was the first or the second day here. We had a disagreement and I told him off. And then, all of a sudden, we're fighting and that fucker just throws me in the river. I nearly drowned.
Well, how did you get out? I thought you couldn't swim.
I can't. They pulled me out. I was up to my waist in water.
I see. Well, I'd be pretty fucking angry too. So you want to pay him back?
Exactly. I don't give a shit about anything around here, but that bastard's in need of a good trouncing.
I spoke with him briefly and he doesn't seem so horrible.
Then you ought to try working with him. He's a sneaky bastard. And arrogant. You should see how he puffs himself up when he's off to play dice with Lawrence.
Who's Lawrence? Another mill hand?
Aye, but at the neighbouring mill. They call him the Wren. Damned if I know why. Thomas goes there to play dice with him.
What about the others at the mill? Are they awful as well?
The miller's an old fool. He believes every word that comes out of Thomas's mouth. It's hopeless. And then there's the miller's daughter. She's a...
Do you think he's jealous? Is she a sweetheart?
You might make puppy dog eyes at her, but most of the time he just struts about like a peacock. I really don't think she's the problem.
And what do you want to do about it? Do you think you can come to an agreement?
No fucking chance. Matthew hopes so because he likes it here. It's true the work's better than the mines, but the pay's worse.
So how do you plan on dealing with it? Leaving?
Perhaps. But first, I want to give Thomas a proper trouncing. I mean a real thrashing.
And you think that will help?
Maybe. Maybe he'll knock some sense into that fat head of his. Or he'll be too frightened to mess with me.
That might help.
So why don't you arrange a fight with him? If we win, he'll leave us alone. Oh, we could...
What?
We could lure him off someplace far away and then wait for him. Maybe to play dice with Lawrence. He would have to go through the dark woods.
I'll think about it.
God be with you.
Jesus, what have you been up to?
I've heard you don't have it easy here.
So you spoke to Fritz then? I bet that wasn't quite how he put it.
No, not quite. Apart from Thomas's name, the rest was mostly swear words.
I can imagine. I've been hearing the same from him all week. The foreman here is a pain in the arse. He's trying either to wear us to the bone or force us to leave.
Always forcing you to work, is he?
If only. That wouldn't be so awful. But nothing we do is good enough for him. There's always some reason for him to yell at us.
I can imagine.
You know what it's like. We do too little, and it takes us too long, and what we eat's worth more than the work we've done, and it's no fun listening to that sort of shit day after day.
And the miller won't stick up for you. I would have thought all the yelling would drive him mad.
Not really. He trusts that loudmouth bastard more than us. He's got us down for a pair of parasites.
I see.
What's so stupid is the mill really needs us. They haven't had any hands here for quite a while, and the mill needs a lot of fixing. But with them around, we can't even get to work.
And you definitely don't...
I've already told you once.
Have you tried talk?
What do you think? But that just sets him off. He starts...
And what do you want to...
Actually, I'd like to stay here. At least for a bit. I never would have thought I'd like...
Me?
They did once already, didn't they?
Back then, making promises was...
You can forget about the miller. It's Thomas you need to convince. The mill...
Fine.
I'm glad.
I'll keep that in mind. I'd like...
See you later.
Good health to you.
So what do you think about the workers I brought you?
If I hadn't put in a good word for them, the miller would have thrown them out by now.
It's good they have some...
Good luck to you.